Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So it is Champions Day tomorrow at Ascot, and I've gone through all the races, and I think I've got some selections for all of the races. Nothing else elsewhere really catches my eye. There's some moderate racing across the other courses, so we're just sticking with Ascot, which I'm sure plenty of you will be pleased about anyway. As I know some don't like having bets at Catterick and Stratford, etc., and they'd rather hear my thoughts for the races at the big meetings. So we'll start off with the Champions Long Distance Cup. Kyprios is going to win. I really think Kyprios will win again. Beat Trawlerman, beat Al Nair, beat Sweet William. I've left the ratings open. You can actually see that we think Sweet William might be the biggest danger. I probably think it's Trawlerman, but our ratings suggest Sweet William. It's probably going to be close between those, in my opinion. But I think Kyprios will just out-battle them late on. He's incredible, isn't he? He's a fantastic horse. I really, really like him. And yeah, he's beaten, if we just look at the horses he's beaten recently, Queenstown, Trawlerman, so he's got him, Sweet William, Vauban, Trushan. He's got the lot. He can do them all. And there's no real concerns for me for this race. I know he did actually win this, did actually lose this a couple of years ago to Trawlerman, or last year even. He got beat by Trawlerman. I think he'll win this time. They kind of, the race kind of got messed up by the long-time runaway leader. Who was it? Maxident. Ryan Moore won't let Trawlerman get away with this time. And yeah, I think Trawlerman will win. But is no price, so not really that interesting. Currently available at 4 to 5. You know, if you really fancy it, you could put it in a double with some of these others if you really like some of these others. So let's talk about the other ones. Let's move on to the 155. Now, the horse I like here, I highlighted this as a bit of an eye-catcher last time out. That is Flora of Bermuda. She really caught my eye last time out on the rain-softened ground at Goodwood when Haydock, when the soft ground horses really came to the fore. Montasib winning it, Kind of Blue second, Unequal Love third. Flora of Bermuda was fifth. Now, I think Flora of Bermuda would have gone a lot closer if she'd had a clear run. But she didn't have a clear run. Didn't get a clear run at all. And I think she's kind of priced based on her finishing position rather than what she did in the race. I would have made her the same sort of price as Kind of Blue, or maybe shorter. I would have definitely made a shorter price than the likes of Unequal Love. And you can see that Unequal Love's like 10s, 11s. Kind of Blue is 11s, max of 14s. Flora of Bermuda is available at 16 to 1. I think she is overpriced. Yeah, I think she's the type of horse that will really appreciate the conditions. And I thought she was just coming to, really getting into a bit of form. Her effort at Deauville 2 runs ago in a Group 1 was a decent effort. She was 4th in a Group 1 behind Lazat and Extra. I thought that was fine. And then, yeah, as I said, she dropped into the Sprint Cup Stakes at Haydock on the rain-softened ground. I thought she was going to run a really big race, but did not get a clear run. And I think that's the real key here. Oisin Murphy keeps the ride. He'll be disappointed with how it went last time. And I think he might try and... Well, I think he's going to be trying to make amends for sure here. And if they do go fast enough up front, I think she's very interesting at a decent price here at 16s. Go back and watch that run when she was way back in 5th, or what was it, 5th or 6th? 5th in the Sprint Cup. That was not her running. I think she's better than that. I'd have her a lot closer to the front of the market, not too far. I'd probably have her just behind Montasib, really. And the fact that she's 16s, I think, is a very big price for Flora of Bermuda. Moving on to the 235, another horse that we've highlighted previously, and that is Kalpana. So we said Kalpana after she got beat at Ascot. At Royal Ascot, she finished 3rd to Port Fairy and Lava Stream, and I said that day I think she was the best horse in the race. She should have won. It didn't quite work out. She got outpaced and then ran on strongly towards the finish again. Little bit of maybe lack of experience. She was still very lightly raced. She's only had her campaign this season. She started in January. But her form, both before that and after that, looks very, very good, doesn't it? Her second, Ines Sharon at Newcastle, very good form. She then went and absolutely smashed Align the Stars at Newmarket in a handicap. Obviously, Align the Stars came out from that and won herself a few runs later. Did she? No, Align the Stars finished second at York. Then went to Hamilton, has won at Thirsk, Haydock and Goodwood since, is significantly higher. So when getting beat by Kalpana, Align the Stars was running off 79. She's now rated 102. Now, I know Kalpana's much, much higher as well. She's gone from 78 to 113. But it just demonstrates that Kalpana beat a very, very good, probably ridiculously well handicapped horse that day and won it really comfortably. Kalpana then went to Newmarket, finished second in a listed race behind Friendly Soul. You're like, well, it was only a listed race. Yeah, Friendly Soul's 3 from 4 since then, winning Ascot in a Group 3, Deauville in a Group 2, and Longchamp in a Group 1, demonstrating that Friendly Soul is very, very good. She only had the one disappointing run in the Musadora when she finished last of 7. Clearly something was wrong. So that was Kalpana's defeat there. She then went to Royal Ascot Kalpana, and as I said, she got outpaced, didn't quite work out. The softer ground will just slow everything down in front and she'll be able to keep up. And then, they dropped her significantly in class. They went down to listed company at Hamilton and she absolutely walloped them, won by 4.5 lengths going away. Then went to Kempton for a Group 3, again walloped them, winning by 4 3/4 lengths. And yeah, has demonstrated that she's definitely not Group 3. She's probably, I'm pretty confident, she's Group 1 class, and this is the right race for her. I think she will take all of the beating. The only horse that I was interested in at a little bit of a price that I kind of felt was overpriced was Queen of the Pride. Now let's just load up the market for this race. We can see that Kalpana is available at 3, we're going to say 3 to 100 to 30, 100 to 30, there's a 7 to 2 outline, at 100 to 30. The horse who I think is a little bit overpriced is Queen of the Pride, if you forgive her last time out. So last time out she was really disappointed at York in the Yorkshire Oaks, but so was Friendly Soul in the Musadora. It could just be that track is really quite tricky and it doesn't always work. Queen of the Pride went off 100 to 30 that day. Content went off 3 to 1. So we're saying there's not a lot pre that race. They didn't think there was much between Content and Queen of the Pride. If we look at the prices, Content is being backed in 5s, 6s, whereas Queen of the Pride is 10s. So shouldn't Queen of the Pride be closer to the price of Content? And she's also beaten Tiffany. Queen of the Pride comfortably beat Tiffany, who's 8s. She comfortably beat her at Haydock when on a going day. So maybe there was just something amiss that day when she disappointed at York. Maybe the ground was too fast. It was good to firm. The softer ground could well bring a much better performance than from Queen of the Pride. And yeah, I think if you went purely on those previous runnings and what we believed about them previously, Queen of the Pride is probably too big a price at 10s. And I think should probably be maybe 3rd favourite rather than 5th favourite. And I would have her about 6 to 1 sort of price. So on that, she is overpriced. I do, however, think Kalpana is going to take all of the beating tomorrow. And I think she's going to demonstrate that she is very, very good. And yeah, as I said, she's only been running this year. She only started in January. She was still learning all the way. Up to and probably including Royal Ascot. It probably just came a little bit too soon for her in her career. She's only been running essentially 6 months in races, and then has demonstrated in July and September that she's very forward now and very, very good. Moving on to the 3:15, the QE2 Stakes, and I'm going to take a bit of a chance here on one that I think I've always been a fan of Henry Longfellow. I've thought he was going to be a very, very good horse this year. Last season, really impressed with the form. It was working out so well. The likes of Stunning Peach in behind Bucanero, Furta. I really like that form. And they'd looked after Henry Longfellow, I felt, cleverly to make sure that he was ready for this season. Returned this season in the French 1,000 guineas, 2,000 guineas, sorry. Didn't quite go to plan. Finished 8th. Didn't get the clearest of runs and was actually ended up being too far back. But went off a really short price that day. Then went to Ascot, and we backed her at Ascot against Rosalian, Metropolitan, Unquestionable, Notable Speech. And I thought Ryan Moore gave Henry Longfellow an absolute stormer of a ride. I thought he did everything perfectly, but was beaten by Rosalian. In my opinion, Rosalian is the best miler in training, and would have been and should have been, if he was okay, he would have been in this race, and I think he would have gone off favourite. I think he would have gone off favourite, and he would have taken all of the beating here against these horses. That's Rosalian. Now, if Henry Longfellow runs a similar performance to what he did then, back at Ascot, I think he's going to go really, really close here, and I think he's going to be able to challenge the likes of Sharon and Tamfana. Yes, he's not quite been as good since. He was far too keen and pestered at Goodwood for the lead, which didn't suit him, and then kind of disappointed. But then last time out, I thought that was a decent effort when third behind Tribalist and Charon at Longchamp. Okay, he was well beaten by Charon that day, and he's actually a pound worse off. I think Ryan's going to be very wary of the race. I think it's going to be ridden differently. Tribalist got a clear run, went clear. Ryan didn't really know what to do. Sylvester didn't know what to do. I think this is going to be a more normally run race tomorrow. And I think Ryan's going to be probably sitting right behind Sylvester de Sousa on Charon. And if he does, I think he's going to run a really big race here. And I was interested in him because of the price. If he had been shorter, I would have probably been, look, he's not worth it sort of thing. But Charon at 15 to 8, I think is too short. Whereas Henry Longfellow at 7s, I think is a decent price. I think he'll be shorter than that come race day. And it wouldn't surprise me if Ryan gets a real tune out of him tomorrow at Ascot. And probably demonstrates that Rosalian form was very, very good form. Moving on to the 355, the Champion Stakes, and I'm going to take on the two at the head of the market. The two at the head of the market are Calandagan and Economics. I'm going to take a chance on Los Angeles, the highly tried and really quite strongly campaigned Los Angeles. So Los Angeles this season has already ran in a Derby trial, the Derby where he finished third, went to Curragh and won the Irish Derby, went to York and won the Great St Voltigeur, then went to Leopardstown for the Irish Champion Stakes and finished fourth, and then went to Longchamp for the Arc and finished third. Now, the Arc form is very good, finishing third behind Blue Stocking and Aventure on the soft ground, so that's not going to be an issue. And we're dropping back in trip to 1 mile and 2 for Los Angeles. Now, if Ryan hadn't ridden the horse last time out at Longchamp, I would have said I don't really think Los Angeles can reverse the form of Economics. But he did. And he rode Los Angeles differently. He went forward and tried to make most of the running, or all of the running. And I think that's going to be the key tomorrow. I want him to go forward tomorrow. He was held up at the back at Leopardstown in the Irish Champion Stakes, almost as they tried many different tactics to beat Economics. They had the likes of Luxembourg going forward. They had Auguste Rodin waiting out the back. They had Los Angeles waiting out the back. They were trying to get Economics beaten. It didn't work. But Los Angeles went into that as second choice for Aidan O'Brien. There were all of the tactics and everything were geared around Auguste Rodin. Now, Los Angeles was held up at the back. ran on quite nicely towards the end, didn't get there in time. Back over this trip and going forward, that's got to be the key for me. If Ryan Moore drops Los Angeles out, I'll be really disappointed. That will not work tomorrow. He's got to go forward and try and make all the running and try and test the stamina of Economics and Calandagan. So Economics never been further than a mile, 2.5. Okay, he looked good in the Irish Champion Stakes, beating Auguste Rodin. And Calandagan, yes, it went up to 1 mile and 4 and won at Ascot in the King Edward the second stakes. That was only a Group 2. Los Angeles would be better than what he beat. He beat the likes of Space Legend, Royal Supremacy, Mondo Man, the Euphrates. Looking back now, that wasn't a strong Group 2 at all. And Calandagan had every right to win that based on what he did since with his second to City of Troy. Now, they're going to know how to beat the fact that they got City of Troy to beat Calandagan. They're going to know what to do with Los Angeles, I feel. You've got to go forward and try and get away from Calandagan and you know, really have already got clear before Calandagan gets going. Economics, I think, might get a little bit tired towards the end of the race and maybe won't stay, whereas Calandagan will be the one closing down Los Angeles. But I'm hoping by that point Los Angeles has already gone. And with that in mind, Los Angeles is currently available at 7 to 1, and I think that's a decent price. I think we're going to get a good run for your money, and hopefully if Ryan Moore does the right tactics, it'll probably shorten the run as well. So if you did want to get out in the run, you certainly could do that if he goes forward. If he goes forward, at some stage he's going to have both of them behind off the bridle. It's just whether he can hang on late on right at the finish. And finally, the last race of the day is the Balmoral Handicap, and there's two I like in this race. They are Beau Pedro at 12s and Carry the One at 12s. So let's talk through Beau Pedro. So first of all, quite simply, the horse was fourth in this race last year off a £6 higher mark. Instantly should give him a chance. He ran a really good prep race for this. I don't think it was a prep, but he ran a really good race in this in the BetMGM Challenge Cup over 7 last time out, behind Volterra and Kirat. Volterra had obviously gone off quite short price for multiple handicaps, including the Britannia Stakes. He went off 13 to 2. He'd gone off just 7 to 2 for the Bet365 mile, 17 to 2 for a Sky Bet mile at York. He'd always been fancied to go well and win one of these races, and eventually Volterra did. Kirat, again, similar story. He went off 100 to 30 last time out. He's actually gone off favourite the last 4 runs, including 13 to 2 joint favourite for the Britannia Stakes. So Kirat is another horse that they've expected to win and go well in these handicaps off his current mark. Now, Beau Pedro didn't get a clear run last time out and probably would have finished closer to those and maybe further clear of Fresh, who I also think was well handicapped. The fact that we're back up to the mile, Beau Pedro's demonstrated that he can run over a mile. In actual fact, last time out over 7 was his first run over 7 for a little while, for a long while actually. Looking back through his form, the last time he actually ran over just 7 was back in July 2023. Finished, as I said, in this race last year. He finished, what did he finish? 4th? Did I say? 4th in 2023, beaten 2.5 lengths off a mark of 102. He runs tomorrow off 96. He's got to have a massive chance, in my opinion, tomorrow. He'll like the soft ground. That won't be an issue. He ran on soft ground when he was 4th in this race last year. The second horse also came from the BetMGM Challenge Cup, and that is Carry the One, who just did not get a clear run at all last time out. Probably the worst run through out of... It could be that he's just very, very tricky to get right because he keeps running into horses and into the back of horses. But he's very, very consistent, to be fair to him. Since May, he finished 1st at Newmarket, 3rd at Royal Ascot, 4th at Newmarket, 5th at Ascot. He won at Chepstow. He was 3rd at Ascot in the Shogar Cup, 4th at Chester. 4th at Chester. And then recently finished 6th at Ascot on the soft ground. Now, he's up to 104, but he's gone close off 104 twice now, once at Ascot in the Dubai duty-free Shogar Cup, and I kind of feel that's where they went, we'll come back for that Balmoral at the end of the season. And then I do believe that they might have used the MGM Challenge Cup as a prep run for him. I think that was more of a prep run for him than Beau Pedro was for David O'Meara. Did not get a clear run, carry the one. I think he's going to go really close. Christophe Soumillon on board. He's a jockey that can ride these types of horses really well. Comes through with his serene style, very similar to Jamie Spencer in a way. But he's a very smooth jockey. I do like Christophe Soumillon on these types of horses. I think he rides them very quietly without getting them too far behind. And I think both of these are going to run really big races tomorrow. That is Carry the One and Beau Pedro, and they're available at 12s and 12s. So they are my selections for tomorrow. A quick recap. Starting off in the 120, the long distance cup, I think Kyprios does win again. 155, Flora of Bermuda with a clear run. She's now available at 18s. No, she's not. They're terrible bookies. She's available at 16s. I think with a clear run, she will end up a lot closer than last time out. And Asheen now knows what to do with her and hopefully can give her a good ride. In the 235, I think Kalpana is the proper Group 1 horse in this race. I do like Queen of the Pride as well. At that price, I think she could be an interesting each way bet in the race. 315, Henry Longfellow. If he runs his level that he did against Rosalian at Ascot, I think he goes really close, and probably I would have him in front of Tamfana. I would make it very close with him and Charon on that running, and the fact that you can get a significantly bigger price about Henry Longfellow. He is my selection. The 355, Los Angeles, as long as Ryan goes forward, I think he will give Los Angeles a great chance of actually beating Calandagan in economics. I think he'll outstay economics. It's whether Calandagan can run him down. And finally, in the competitive Balmoral Handicap, Beau Pedro off a £6 lower mark than when he was 4th last year. Didn't get a clear run last time out over 7 at Ascot. And similarly, Carry the One didn't get a clear run when 6th at Ascot over 7. Back up to a mile. I think will really suit both of those. They're both available at 12 to 1.